What is up, everybody? GoldBear back here today with another video. And today, guys, this is me and CartoonFoxGuy's second collab. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Bendy and the Ink Machine / Dark Revival Jakks specific action figures, plushies, and the updates that have come out for like the second wave and stuff like that. So, CartoonFoxGuy, you got the floor.
All right, hey guys, it's good to be back on the GoldBear channel. Thank you for having me again, man. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, as GoldBear said, we'll be talking about the Jack specific Bendy lineup and what's been released so far, and things that have been shown, things we know are coming in Wave 2. We can only really base on Wave 1 and 2 right now because that's all we really know of. So yeah, well, I'll let you start it off. Thank you again for the cool introduction.
Yeah, no problem. Always glad to have people on the channel, and hopefully I get some more in the future. But anyways, let's start off with the action figures. So let's see, which one should we start out with? Let's talk about Bendy and just he's just like the cute little one in the wave. Doesn't look all like, I don't know, messed up. I mean, besides like the top of his head.
Yeah, I got him here with me.
Yeah, very nice articulation for a small figure, I gotta say, and the paint job is just phenomenal. I mean, it looks like they just ripped him right out of the game into action figure form, and it's a nice thing that they like gave him his little choo-choo train. I thought that was kind of cute.
That was cool. I was like, that was a cool accessory.
But I mean, this guy, you compare him to the Fan Mojo version, and you already know that this guy is 10 steps ahead than the Fan Mojo one. But yeah, they got the paint on it really good, and I like that glossy texture on it, so it makes it even stand out even more. So yeah, very good.
I'd say like the one I do agree with all your points. Like I didn't buy Bendy was not the first one I bought. Bendy was the third figure I bought. I bought the Demon first, Audrey, Bendy, and then Tom last. But I was kind of like, I'll admit, I was almost tempted to buy Bendy first because Bendy was the one I kept seeing the most of in stores, and every time I saw him, I was like, oh, this figure does look really, really phenomenal. The more like you articulate them, like these Jakks figures, like already I've had Jakks figures before, I think, growing up. They definitely improved for sure, like as the years have gone on, but like these Bendy figures have such very unique articulation. Like I've noticed like in Bendy's glove, it's almost like a ball kind of. His foot is on like a ball as well. It's like a double ball joint sticking out. So it gives them like this like very interesting range. I've noticed a lot on mine. The one, what is it? The left arm. Yeah, the left arm's very loose on mine. I feel like a lot of these Jakks figures did have a few like QC issues here and there. Right. So like my arm is kind of loose on mine. He's kind of all over the place. The other arm's pretty good. It moves, it holds. It can luckily hold its position, but yeah, if you're like posing him, like his arm is just, it's loose on mine, unfortunately. I'd say the one other detail that I'm sure even you noticed, because you might have brought it up in your video, I think I brought it up in mine. The black dots were such a disappointing miss, though. I was kind of surprised, and I'm kind of curious of what did happen.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed about that one too, because that's just the iconic Bendy glove. I mean, you can't have Bendy without just like, I don't know. I just wish he had the dots on his glove and make him look a lot better. But I mean, miss opportunities kind of happen sometimes, or misprints happen. So that could be somebody that was working on these figures and wasn't taking a very close look at Bendy's full design. I mean, it's not something that you're just gonna like look at right away and be like, oh, I don't want this figure, because you know the black dots on his glove ain't I guess it ain't anything too special. It just makes it, I don't know,
part of his design, like makes his design iconic.
Right.
Like I mean the plush got it, so the plush at least has the dots on him, and that's a more like classic looking Bendy. But like even on the packaging, the render they used, the official render of Bendy, you can see the dots, so it kind of makes me like, makes me wonder what did happen still, kind of like how that was missed. And how it even like I'm almost less blaming Jakks than I am almost Meatley and Mike because I'm like these figures would have had to go through them first
Right.
before they were even officially revealed or announced or put in shelves. So I'm almost wondering how Mike and Meatley missed it as well. This is like their own designed character, and they somehow themselves missed that little like that small detail.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just odd, but all in all, figure is great. I like the articulation on it. It's, I don't know. You and me both can say that this is a lot better than the Fan Mojo Bendy.
It's definitely a lot better when you consider articulation, appearance of the figure. I actually think the Bendy has the best detail on it. That's my opinion.
Right.
I think it's got more of like those sketchy pen-looking lines and dings around the face that really make it look like it was just, as you kind of described, pulled out of the game itself. It really does bring that like Bendy art style to the real world in plastic form, and I think Bendy is probably the best in the wave for that. Definitely carries on that aspect.
Do we want to talk about the backgrounds, or should we just like leave those out?
The backgrounds. Okay, I don't know if I want to. I think like we'll talk about like the backgrounds briefly because I'm like yeah I don't want to sit here and do all like I could just sit here and trash talk that. I
Yeah.
know again you're from the States, I'm from Canada, so to you it's probably like oh you know what, it's still kind of cool, but when like you're in Ontario paying 30 basically dollars for these figures, a cardboard like the idea was neat, the idea was there. I like that they actually included that stand and like the idea of like a background, but why couldn't it be like on plastic, right? Like you can
Right.
do that. So I was kind of like cardboard felt a little like kind of a cheap out, like why?
Wow, that's very cheap. Yeah. Uh,
It's like it's a pretty good quality cardboard, but still if that gets wet it's done, it's over.
yeah, I don't know what their thinking process was on that one, but most of these companies nowadays are always just looking for the cheapest way to sell stuff. So yeah.
Like I don't think it like ruins picking them up, but I'm just like I mean, because you could honestly, if you really didn't want the bait, you're like, ah, whatever. You could just use the stands because I thought the stands were really cool. I like that they're like all shaped like Bendy's head. That's really cool.
Right.
But it was just like the background was a neat idea. It just gives more like flair to the figure on display. It just was like, oh, why do they have to be made of cardboard though? The prints and the designs of it look fine. Like the backgrounds they picked. The only quick thing I'll mention, because I don't even want to dwell on it when we bring it get to Audrey, is hers is terrible.
Oh
Audrey's
yeah.
probably is like the worst in the set by far. It's one really thin. It's this thin piece of cardboard,
Right.
and you have to assemble it. And I'll let you quickly because you had to experience that. I didn't. I was stupid and accidentally threw mine out, but I can't feel super responsible as that piece of cardboard is so thin. I like, and I was like, just getting. I don't hold everything. I'm just dumping stuff in the garbage. I'm like, I didn't even notice that was part of her base on the back of the box, and I'm like, I thought
Yeah.
that would have been like already assembled into it. What?
That was
So like,
kind
my
of.
odds is missing part of her base, and I felt a lot of people did that too.
I don't think you're the only one, and I'm gonna be
Oh
100%
no.
with you on that one. I think that was a joke right there, because even mine, I was putting mine together and it broke. So,
Yeah, it's like it looks so thin. Like that's such thin card that could rip.
and I don't even think that bottom piece is made out of like the thick cardboard. I think it's just like, I don't know. It's like
Yeah, it
flimsy
didn't look like it.
cardboard.
It
It's
looked
not.
like it was. Uh,
It's not the baseboard, but anyways, the back. Some of the backgrounds are good. Some of them kind of blow, but
I
it's
like the
whatever.
background most. I like the like I said, I like the background images. Like I think like for example, my favorite for sure is Tom's. I love Tom's. The Ink Demons is cool. I kind of wish they didn't make it the ink machine. I wish they actually had given us like an actual ink machine, like Fat
Right.
Mojo did. I'm sure they might, but now it'll look kind of silly having like the Ink Demon with like a cardboard, cheap looking like ink machine, and then like not Fat Mojo. Jakks will decide to go later. Oh, we're actually gonna make an actual ink machine, which I would totally buy, but it's not gonna like okay. So what's the point?
Yeah. is the ink machine even even shown in the Dark Revival, like besides the end?
Well, the model they used in the figure was like it's definitely the ink version of it. The only version I think you see, from my knowledge, is the real ink machine at the beginning of the game.
Right.
I played the game, I think, a fair enough amount of times now where I'm like, I think that's all you see. I mean, it's referenced, I think, through the game a few times, but like when you physically, I think all you see is that like real version when like Wilson turns it on. That's like I think that's all you get to see.
Oh well, it's still kind of cool in a way, but we probably should get on to the next figure because we've already spent like probably 4 minutes talking about that.
Alrighty, so who do you want
That's fine.
to go with next there?
Let's get to Audrey.
Yeah, we'll go with Audrey. I got Audrey here. Audrey, I actually am really impressed by. Audrey turned out really good, actually.
Way better than Fan Mojo, I'll say that.
I can't speak about that. I don't actually own the Fan Mojo one. I'm kind of glad I don't.
I do.
It looks, I don't know, like when it first came out, I was like, oh, it looks really cool. And I'll admit, the one thing I do like more about the Fan Mojo one is they actually gave her banish ability.
Right.
The flow, or I don't know which one they gave her.
I'm not too sure which
If it's the spiral looking one, I think that's flow. I think banish is like the ghost face looking kind of one. So it might be flow, actually. It might have given her flow.
They gave her flow.
Yeah, okay, they gave her the more like spiral looking. Like, yeah, so I was like, I said for one, I think giving Audrey switchable hands would have been sick. Like this hand that you come with, just the plain hand, and then like the same hand with just each of her abilities would have been so cool. So you switch out her hands.
I'm just assuming this, and I don't know if this is like 100% accurate to this figure, but I think they were trying to go off Audrey like when you first start the game before she had her abilities.
Oh yeah, definitely. Which I don't mind. I was like, they could have still like kept this kind of like the base hand when you open the figure, and then you can kind of play around and switch the hands out. So you kind of have Audrey, like if you want, displayed. I thought another cool accessory would have been like a second gen pipe. I think it would have been cool if they gave us like her regular one that they gave us, and then gave us like a second one with her fully upgraded pipe. So you could really choose to have Audrey like at the beginning of the game, or it would have been fun just to have that kind of like option. Like, do I want beginning Audrey, or do I want like Audrey, like buffed Audrey?
Right.
Like buffed Audrey with her powers, her fully upgraded gen pipe, and like it would have been really cool to have those options. But outside of that, and like the really like garbage base, I think this figure is really nice. Like I said, it's one of those figures where if you really liked the black paint they used, it's that or the Ink Demon, because Audrey is like covered in it.
Yeah, it's a very nice figure actually. I mean, I like this one a lot better than the Fan Mojo one, obviously, but
It is. It's really detailed. Like I thought, like the hair on the back, like that's really nicely sculpted. The sweater details even being there, like you feel like the texture of her sweater. I've always thought her sweater reminded me of Jack from BioShock. I know that's like obvious, like because they definitely have taken BioShock like inspirations. So I'm sure like this was inspired by Jack's sweater, but it's still kind of cool. It kind of reminds me of like a inked female version of Jack from BioShock.
Oh, the jet pipe fell out of her hand, and now it doesn't want to go back in her hand. Okay.
Oh yeah, man, mine can barely hold it. I actually, part of me was thinking about customizing my Ink Demons one that came with the what is it? The old version of the Ink Demon. He came with a gen pipe, and I was like, I almost want to customize that one and give that one to Audrey because she holds that one way better. Like it's stiff in her hand, like it sits. So I almost want to customize that and give that one to her. Like try to see if I can kind of make it look like how the Jakks one looks. Just give it like a black wash. Throw some details on there, maybe even ink splatter it a bit. I don't know.
I just realized that Fan Mojo actually gave that Audrey like the upgraded gen pipe.
Yeah, so I'm like, honestly, if you don't really care about like customization or you want to, that would probably be the only reason I'd buy that figure is just for the gen pipe and then customize it and then give it to her.
Right.
But that's not worth me than having a really mid-looking Audrey figure. Like that figure does look really mid.
Now we just need Henry and other characters, but that's for later.
Henry will be like, I swear, I see Henry in store. I'm buying him right away.
Oh yeah, I'm getting that. He's the OG.
Like, and his design, like years worth of like seeing just like what do you call it, like fan recreations of like this is what I think Henry would look like was so cool. And I'll admit, seeing Henry's official design didn't even disappoint. I actually really like his design. He does kind of have that like middle age, just like I'm like tired.
I'm tired.
I got like a baggy his eyes look. Like I noticed that right away, just the bags under his eyes. I'm like, oh yeah, this man is done.
He's like, I don't want to be here right now.
I've been through the cycle, like what is it, like 114 times, like 414 times. I'm like, I'm done. Killed my friend 414 times. I've listened to Alice's yapping for 104. I'm just done. Give up. I saw some guy in a video point out how just defeated Henry sounds. I'm like, yeah, I actually never noticed that at first. But he sounds like the more you listen to his whole like epilogue, you're like, oh yeah, he does. He sounds just so defeated, just done. He's accepted.
He's just accepted that he's trapped.
Yeah, he's like, and he's accepted that he's not even a real, like, he's not even the legit Henry. He's just like, I'm done. I'm tapping out. I'm just like, this is my life. I'd rather just sit in this cage.
Right. But yeah, that's Audrey.
Audrey, yeah, definitely one of the better ones in the wave for sure.
Well, Tom is definitely one of the best figures I've seen from Jakks Pacific so far, besides Bendy and the Ink Demon. But all I gotta say is I love that mechanical arm. That is like the best thing that I've seen so far with these figures.
It is really cool. It is really. I can't tell if that's a chip on mine, but I don't really care. It does. The way they made the joints, I love it. It almost feels like they used more like ratchety joints for his arm here. So like when you move his arm and like twist it, it actually kind of feels robotic.
Right.
Like, and then you like his right arm feels a little more smooth. Like I love that. Like that's a good point to note. I do agree with you, and it looks good too. Like the way the detail on the robot arm does look nice.
I think Dark Revival's Tom looks a lot better than the Ink Machine version. They kind of gave him a lot more detail.
They did. They made him also look more like kind of like he's been through more fights. Like he's missing like part of his ear. I thought was such a cool detail. Like half his ear's gone. At first I thought that was my figure like broken. It only took me to go back and look. I'm like, oh no, that's part of his design.
Is it just me, or is this axe like way bigger than it needs to be for his hand?
His axe, I didn't mind it being bigger. I'd probably prefer it to be bigger. I wish there was a little more detail. I kind of wish they put more like black on it, like where it was supposed to be black. I think the matte yellow was kind of lazy. I do like they did like the washes and stuff. Like that looks nice. They make it look all weathered. And it sucked. I noticed that depended on your copy. Like there were some people who were getting some axes that looked like it was covered and just aged and like the way it was painted. And then some people just looked so unpainted, and I was like, oh, it's terrible. Mine's kind of in the middle. I feel like mine has like the one side is more painted than the other. So the other side is like still painted, but it looks more just base.
Was the handle of the axe supposed to be like the inky color instead of?
It is. It's like black. I don't think it's like ink, but it is black. I kind of wish they did do it in black.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they just decided to do it like the yellow color, but oh well.
It's still really cool. It's definitely my. Actually, I don't know if it's my favorite accessory. I'd say, like, it's hard. Like, Audrey's is definitely my least favorite. Bendy's is up there. I would say Bendy's because Bendy's was really cute and it was really clever to give him his train. But it's, I think we'll save. I think you know what my favorite accessory is. Like, I would say it's the axe, but that probably is my second.
I know what your favorite one is.
The axe was a cool accessory, but other than that, like some of the details, like one of my favorite details about Tom is in between his legs. Like that was really cool. Like that inky kind of like shade. I can't know if it's supposed to be like ink or if it's supposed to make it kind of look like shading. But it's got like an airbrush look, which makes me believe it's supposed to be like shading.
Might be shading.
Which I thought was cool. It works. Like, and then like, cause I was looking at Tom in the game, and yeah, like in spots, it does look like his body is shaded.
Right.
So I'm like, that was kind of neat on Jax's part.
Articulation on this guy is also good. I mean, I like the torso.
Oh, I know he's got like a, what do you call it? Like a waist.
You can make
that.
You can make.
I didn't think they were gonna do it. I didn't actually think this would even be on the figure. I was like, I pulled it out and I was like, oh, whoa, I get waist articulation. I was like, what? I thought it was just gonna be stiff.
I think we only got waist articulation with Tom and the Ink Demon so far.
Yeah, no, Audrey doesn't have it, or Bendy. I mean, Bendy makes sense. Audrey they probably could have pulled it off, but
Right.
but I'm not too bummed by it. Tom, I think it was better for Tom just because Tom's more of like a fighting kind of character. You can put Tom more in like fight, kind of like fighting or something. I don't know. So it worked for Tom. I was surprised because like the way the figure looks in box, I thought it was just gonna be molded, and then like I was like, oh no, wait, he actually has like waist articulate or like upper torso articulation. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know, but a very good figure. I do enjoy it. So yeah.
I did well. It's definitely a good one. I also like kind of all the stitching details all around his like. What is it? His coveralls, his
Yeah.
He's got all like,
Overalls.
and he's got I love the like ink stains at the bottom of his pants there. The drenched.
Giving me some Samuel Lawrence vibes, kind of.
Yeah, I kind of hope they carry that onto like the Sammy figure. That would be nice.
Right. Well, we're pretty much done with the action figures except for one.
Yeah, we saved the best one for last. I knew we were gonna probably save the last one.
Best one for last, the Ink Demon, and I'm pretty sure you mentioned this in your video, and I'm pretty sure I did in mine, but I think this is the one figure out of the entire wave that just blew the house, like blew the roof off the house, basically.
Oh yeah, man, everyone wants this guy.
Yeah, he's so rare. I mean, I know CartoonFoxGuy only paid like maybe $30 for this guy, but when I got my first copy, I paid $100.
Yeah, you bet it for yours. I was like, dude, and then you found them. Like, when did you find them? Like a week or so after?
Like 2 weeks later, I ran to Walmart and I'm just like, I'm in the aisle just looking at some random stuff, and all of a sudden I just see these figures off to the distance, and I'm like, are those the new Bendy figures? And then I'm like, oh my god, there's no way I just blew like $200 on these from eBay and then they're in my store.
Yeah, because didn't you spend like 100 on the 3, and then you spent just like 100 on the 1?
I think I spent like I spent 200 some in general because I had to do shipping with that too. But the one with the Ink Demon was definitely $100 because that was the bid.
That's crazy, man. I'm like, I thought like I paid a lot for it.
And I'm kind of upset because though I paid $100 for this guy and he's got detail missing on his mouth.
Yeah, dude, I was like, oh, I remember seeing that. Like, I don't remember if you sent me it first or I saw it in the video first, but I remember seeing that and going like, I felt like this, like, you know, the silly. I was like, oh,
Right.
I'm like, oh, damn, and seeing it like in the video made it look even worse. I was like, oh, dude, he's missing like one, dude, like he's not even missing one, like he's missing like a few teeth lines where it's. Oh,
man's mouth can't open because both of his teeth just like morph together.
Yeah, like half his mouth can probably open. Oh man.
But that's just on this copy. I actually have 2 other copies of this guy in card or in a box. So and they look actually, I looked at them and they look pretty good. So.
Yeah, dude. I remember finding the first Ink Demon, and I found out I was like one of the first ones to ever buy this figure, too. So now I'm like, I wasn't just the first one to like put these figure images online. I was like, oh yeah, I'm one of the first people I could buy these because I was in Walmart coming home from school, and I'm like in Walmart, and I'm like, I'll go see if this Walmart has the plushies in because I don't think they've gotten the plushies in yet. I saw them at like another Walmart in my city, and I'm like, okay, well, let's go look for fun. I have to wait like half an hour for my bus. I go and I'm like, oh, they got the plus, and then all of a sudden I see, I think they only had Tom, Bendy, and then like they only had like one of each. So they had like one Tom, one Bendy, and one Ink Demon just sitting there, and they didn't have their prices out yet.
Oh.
So I was kind of like, okay. So I took it to checkout, and it was like, it came to like $28. I'm like, $28 for this freaking Ink Demon? I'm like, what the? I was like, dude. I'm like, I'm not blowing this. No, I'm blowing it.
I'm not doing this. I'm gonna do it.
And then I was like posting the pictures online, and I had like kids swarming in my comments, like, "Oh my gosh, they're doing Demon Figure! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh! Send me like photos. We need photos."
Right.
I got him in like my stepdad got him in like a Scooby Doo monster pose, and I posted that online. I think Mike even liked my post. I was like,
Possibly.
no way, even Mike liked it. Like, what?
You had YouTubes like your stuff, and I'm like, bro, how?
YouTube, yeah, that was crazy. I was like, YouTube's actually liked it. I thought it was more crazy Mike liked that post on Twitter. I was like, oh my gosh. He didn't like retweet it or anything, which I'm surprised, but like he liked it. I was like, oh, look who liked my post. Immediately did. I don't know what he was. Like, immediately, dude, I'm one of the first guys to own your Jakks figures. Mike gave me praise, and Mike's the more controversial out of both of you.
Right.
I'm like, ugh. I'm like, I've had people asking why I even follow Mike. I'm like, he's still one of the creators. And I still, like, in a sense, support him and my, like, Meatley's work. I don't like some of the past stuff they've done, but I'm like, that's like years ago now. Like, every time I bring up the 50 employees, I'm like, okay, that's so dead. It's like, that was back in, like, before Bendy and the Dark Revival even came out. I don't think anybody cares anymore. Like, that, I think that dirt was already burned on them. Just let it go. Like, from what it seems now, they're doing better. They're like, their projects are more successful. Dark Revival came out finally, and it was actually worth the wait, which was crazy to me. I was like losing hope on Dark Revival. I was like, I remember people go, "Are you excited for the new Bendy?" I'm like, I don't even care anymore. I'm buying like toys and plush for this game. It's not even out. And then I already have another game they did, and that game's dead. And now I just have a T-shirt and these plush and figures to remind me of a dead game. Speaking of what, they actually like were talking about bringing Showdown Bandit back. They weren't gonna like change anything. They were just gonna re-release it on Steam with a few like visual updates, and then just put the same game on Steam. I'm like, but why? I'm like, but why? I think like there's no point if it's gonna be that same crappy game. I'm like, I'd rather you almost just redo it and like make us wait. Because I would love to see Showdown Bandit come back. I'm just like, and then hey, Jakks can do figures for those.
I've never played it, so I wouldn't know what it is, but
no, I didn't play it either. But it was let's just say the first release sucked. It was like it was this game that looked like it was like I remember all the teasers they did for it. I was like, oh, this looks so cool. And then like this 80s kind of gives me like 80s 70s TV retro kid, like you know Howdy Doody kind of stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Now they're trying like so they went from turning like old 30s 40s cartoons into horror stuff. Now they're doing it like with like 70s 60s puppet stuff. That's kind of neat. And then like the more they showed the screenshots, I was like, oh, this game looks so cool. Like this looks so different too. And then the game came out and everyone just hated it. They were like, the point and click sucked. The visuals look kind of meh. The character designs are fine. The combat, the whole like shooting thing was terrible. And then you find out that, yeah, like the game was basically like made by a bunch of people that were fired. And then Mike immediately just took the game and like redid it in like 3 weeks and said, here you go. Here's your game. And I'm like, oh, so hearing like Mike go like, oh yeah, I want to like, we can give you Showdown Bandit, but we're not doing crap all the time, like to change it. We're like, then what's the point?
Well, there's a little talk about Showdown Bandit, but
oh man, well like it'd be nice because then like I could see Jakks getting that license, man. Like if they like actually tried to make Showdown Bandit good, Jakks could make good figures out of those. I guarantee you.
It's gonna come eventually, maybe down the road.
No, I'm not even gonna get my hopes up. I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Kind of like what if topic. But yeah, so the plushies, I think that's all we have. Well, actually, is there anything else you want to bring up about the demon here?
I'm just gonna say that the details on him look very nice, and that I just love him in general. And I know your favorite thing that he comes with is like the last reel or the reel.
Man. That's like, I was so excited to see. Oh, I thought from the glam shots it was just gonna be a reel. I was like, that's still a cool accessory, but please tell me it's the end reel. And then I saw like another guy. I was like, oh my god, they did it. And I was like,
did it.
I was like, oh my god, they actually did it. It actually is the end reel. I was like, that is sick.
Right.
And if I make him hold it, it's like protecting this end reel. I was like, dude, that's an accessory.
Oh yeah.
The one thing I will quickly mention before we move to the plushies is actually two things. One, I've said this and a few people are kind of iffy with me. Hear me out. Let me cook. This guy feels like he's got like import figure quality articulation. I don't know if that's just me. Like the way like his waist, like I think what did it for me is his head. This guy's got like a double jointed neck and then head. I'm like, what? I'm like, you can literally move his head and then also his neck. I'm like, that's insane. For like, and like for you guys in the States paying $15 for this, that's nuts for articulation. That's almost better than like Marvel Legends.
Right.
For like Marvel Legends, they cheap in the States. They're like, what, $20-$30 as well? And they don't even do stuff like that. Here's Jakks, like, here's a $15 figure in the States that had, you know, like a double jointed head, like a neck too. It's like, what?
Right.
But other than that, the last point, the only criticism I'd have with this, and I'm like, I hate to be that guy. I said either a swappable head would have been nice for the Ink Demon, or that they went the extra mile, sculpted some teeth, and gave us an actual articulated jaw.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have been cared if they did it either or. I was just like, I would have been nice to have that like open mouth look too available, because I love that look. Like kind of how the YouTubes does, where his mouth's open.
Right.
I love that look.
Kind of a missed opportunity for the figure, but in general, figure is very, very nice. So.
Oh, it's still the best one easily.
Yeah,
I was like,
one.
Best articulation. I can't say it has the best detail. It's mostly black, but I'm like, the details you do get are really nice. The face, like, even though it's just kind of flat printed, they added, like, you see all his gums and his. The one thing I like is how the teeth are a different yellow than the skin.
Right.
That was the one thing I actually criticized YouTube's as Ink Demon when I got it. I was like, I kind of wish they either one made the teeth like a different, like maybe a lighter yellow, or that I kind of just wish they did like a wash. So that way, because the teeth on the YouTubes look so like blended into the face. Like you barely even see they're there. You have to like see, like you'd have to see it in person. I've seen people post photos of it and you can't even see the teeth sometimes. You're like, bro, where are the teeth?
I totally just realized that I had the mic muted the whole time, so anything that I just was agreeing with you on, the figure and stuff, yeah, the mic did not catch that, so I apologize.
Oh, no worries. As long as it caught me.
It caught you. But I did agree with everything that you were saying, though, so yeah.
Alrighty, yeah. So I'm like, other than that, yeah, the YouTubes, or not the YouTubes, the Jakks Ink Demon is, I would say, the best one easily. I think anyone's gonna agree with that. Everyone, because this figure is now going on eBay for like over $100.
Yeah.
Everyone wants this damn figure.
It's the best one out there, and people will spend thousands of dollars just to have it. Well, I don't know about that.
Oh my gosh, I hope not 1,000. If I ever catch someone listing that for 100, I'm gonna be like, listen here, champ.
Listen here, champ.
Yeah, listen here, champ. You ain't selling that for $1,000. Take that eBay listing down. You're a joke.
I think I already saw that on eBay.
Oh, the worst I've seen is like 200 or over. I saw like 200, a bit over. I was like, over 200 still like nuts to me. I'm like, for a freaking figure. That in the States, it's worth like $50.
Right.
What?
I don't know. It's just crazy, but
they must be selling it just like that high. Because like again, everyone wants this. You either, like I've said, you see that Ink Demon figure, you don't have it, buy it now. When you see it, don't let it slip out of your fingers. Because I saw one, and I didn't need to buy it, but I came back like a day or two later, and it was bye.
I don't know.
It was gone.
I don't think I mentioned it on YouTube, but I did send you over a copy of the Ink Demon figure.
Oh yeah, Clayton's a like way better version of it, so I do thank you for that. Mine was like, it wasn't terrible, but I had this like really terrible paint error. I don't know if I can say it's as bad as the one you got. And that would have made me more mad. That one was like, I would be like, freaking like Arthur Fist thing meme right there. If I saw paid 100 and then he's missing like a few of his teeth, I would like. But mine had like, it was really hard to see in my initial video. He had like almost what looked like silver paint, like these big clunks of it, just like it almost at first looked like glue that was just like merged into his body. It was like all over the like his torso. And I was like, even a bit on his back. I was like, what the hell was that? I'm like, ew. I'm like, this looks awful. Like the one thing that looked like just this big hunk of silver paint under where his bow tie is. I'm like, what is that?
Where did this guy come from?
Like the word, like the honestly, the only paint error on the new one Clayton sent over was like he's got like a little silver dot on the top of his head, but it's so tiny. Like I would prefer that than whatever the heck was on my old one. That was the nightmare feel.
Right.
That or you could just say his was worse with those teeth missing. That was like that haunted my sleep when I saw it. Thinking paying $100, seeing an ink demon with missing teeth. I'm like, oh. Like that has me tossing, turning in my sleep at night.
Do we want to talk about the plushies in this video?
Oh, may as well. May as well. They're like there's people who I've seen on YouTube who actually like them. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, they suck. I'm like, you know what? That's valid. I can see these not being for everybody.
I didn't review them, and the only reason why I didn't review them is because, in my personal opinion, and I also got a second opinion from my other buddy, me and him both agree that it's just a cheap. I think it's cheap. I think they should have actually made the ink on the character like actual fabric instead of just printing it on there, but. I don't know, and I never really got around to actually talking about them because I kind of bought them and then they just kind of sat in the corner for like the longest time and I just never talked about them.
I'm like, I reviewed them and I was kind of like mixed. I was kind of like, I did agree with some of your like the same kind of things you and your friend brought up. There's a few things about them that are like, I kind of wish they could have just done it better. I'll admit the amount of printing on the figure plushies I think is a bit of a letdown. I'm like I said at least the printing details look nice, like the amount of detail that did go into them. It just sucks that they're like most like I'm sure some of you people watching have these plushies by now. They are like, I swear, mostly just base fabric and printing. Like even all the yellow looks printed. Like it's just all ink printing on the plush. Like I think some people are saying on the bow tie, like there's some spots. Yeah, even on mine, you can see the white coming through. So it shows that the base color was white, and they just printed it yellow, and then like with all the like eye details and the blacks, I was like, oh.
Yeah,
I think the worst one is Alice personally. I think Alice is like the one that's kind of like,
My buddy, his name's Storm Plush Productions, or that was his old name. I don't know what he goes by now on YouTube, if he even does YouTube still, but he was like, yeah, I prefer the Phantom Mojo versions over these, and I'm like, I mean, I kind of do, and I kind of don't, but, I don't know, I'm kind of mixed with the plushies, and I'm not a very big plush collector anymore like I used to be, so...
I don't know, it's hard for me. I can't really pick. I have, like, on my kind of small Bendy display, the original 3 Fat Mojo ones, and they're really nice. Like, I would say I do like them more than the new ones, because one, they kind of have more of like a cartoony look. They're not really trying to go for that like in-game look. They're more like, like Bendy cartoon kind of look. And they have like the actual sewn on fabrics. But I think what I do like though about the not the Fat Mojo one, the Jakks ones, they look game accurate. They literally, like, you go in game, like even the Boris with all the ink on it, that's what it looks like in game. So I'm like, that's kind of cool that they did make them look like they were actually based on in-game models. Yeah. Again, I do wish they were a little more like sewn, like the eyes could have been sewn. It's more, I agree with you guys, more like parts where it was more sewn on, so it had more like a higher quality feel than just like, let's just print these plushies basically.
Right.
I almost want to just like go onto my printer, print pictures of these plushies and go, that's basically what Jakks just did. They sewed characters and just printed everything.
Right.
Like kind of a
Uh,
lazy move on Jack's part, but yeah, look, I even see some white going through Boris's gloves. Yeah, so I do agree with you guys. I wish there was a little like I like what they were going for. I like that old vintage look to them. I do just wish, yeah, they were a little more time was put into them maybe because the idea was there, the time maybe just wasn't, and the cost.
I would have just loved if they just like made the like if they just made like a case or something for the action figures. I don't know. And I like the box art that they made for the plushies, but I feel like what you did. I think they like it's a lot better to like display your figures in it than it is the plushies.
Oh yeah, I'm sure like Flayed will throw a photo of it on like the screen. I'll show like because I took a photo that I sent him because I was like, what? I got another Bendy box and I was like, I tried this for what my display. I might try like doing them in my display like that just because I'm like I have the other box and if I don't choose to, maybe I'll just end up if the plush box is the same for Wave 2, I'll probably just use that.
Right.
But I was like, but it works. It's kind of just I threw the bases, the stands, I kind of just threw them in again. I'm sure he can put a photo on screen of what I showed, or one of his, or both.
I'll
So you
try.
kind of have a visual, you'll have like a visual idea of like what it looks like. But yeah, I'm like, if you guys want to try it, if you somehow can get another Bendy box, go for it. I think it was Clayton thought it was a cool idea. I kind of just threw it together. It was just kind of like, oh, what if I tried this? Would this work? And I'll admit, it was difficult to get the demon to stand. He just did not want to stand. It was so hard. So I was like, I ended up just kind of making him look like he's like reaching out.
Right.
Because my buddy just didn't want to stand. He kept like twirling like forward. I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, he just like does not want to stand at all.
Yeah, it's because his legs are so thin and like his feet are so small. So, and like he's got most of his weight like up on his upper body. So I'm like, oh. But he's still a cool figure. That shouldn't ruin him. I'm like, I've gotten him to stand, and like, it just depends how you pose him.
So I guess the video's actually getting pretty long here. We're already at 42 minutes. But
Oh yes. Do you want to briefly talk about the Wave 2 stuff? Well, at least it shouldn't take too long. It's like
wave, yeah. Wave 2 as of right now we have we are pretty sure that we got 3 figures. Like 3 figures are known already that we're getting, and we got Sammy Lawrence being one of them, and he was like the kind of like tease image that they put out on like Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah,
Like
like
the
everything.
outline.
Yeah, the silhouette more so.
Yeah,
So we know that's confirmed for sure. Because they got all leaked on Walmart, and a lot of people are kind of unsure. Like, it could have been faked. I think it was like Sammy, Real World Bendy, Piper, and Alice. So it makes me believe that like we already know what we're getting now. Because Jakks just basically confirmed Sammy is going to be in Wave 2,
right.
and now we literally just saw leaks the other day, when this was being recorded, of a Twitter user just showing off like full-on images that look like completely leaked of the Piper figure and the Twisted Alice like in box.
So me and CartoonFoxGuy are not sure if those are like out somewhere or someone just decided that they were gonna get early access on these figures, but
My best guess, I don't know.
somebody's got them, and whether that's just Jakks Pacific that's just showing them off early, or someone managed to get into their office and steal them, I have no idea.
My best guess, if I were to have one, from what because Buddy reached out to me a bit. He liked that I posted the video, and he was kind of like, he mentioned, because I was like, I don't really know how he got the pictures. I don't know where he got them from. I'm just crediting him because this is where I'm getting my source from, and a lot of people are as well. And it's only fair to give him credit where it's due.
Right.
And I'm glad I was not the first one to find these. I needed a break. I was like, I don't want to be the first to find these, so thank God someone else did.
Right.
But and I'm like, so I'm a man of my word. Gave him credit, and he saw the video, and he brought up, like I mentioned, I guess I didn't really know where he got them from. So he was saying to me on Twitter, he I guess found them on like I think an eBay listing, is what he was telling me. He found them on some eBay listing or some kind of listing. And I was trying to look it up. I went on eBay. I was kind of trying to see if maybe like the photos look better on eBay. So I was gonna make sure we share the photos from there and do my own video, but I could not find anything. I even looked up like Jakks Bendy, Jakks Bendy Wave 2, Jakks Bendy Piper, I had nothing. Nothing showed up. So I was like, where did he get these? I'm like, if he really did get them from where he's saying, they're obviously gone.
If someone put up a listing and they caught on to that right away, they probably were like, yeah, let's take those down.
Yeah, because they're definitely, it's legit. Like, a lot of people, I think someone I saw was kind of like, ew, that could be fake. I'm like, no, these are, the way they look, these are definitely legit, especially with the leaks. I'm like,
I don't think somebody would take the time out of their day to edit a picture to make it look like real action figures.
oh, dude, tell that to the guy who went to the yeah, did you ever hear the story of the you know, the like Hasbro Titan Hero figures? Someone during like when No Way Home was coming out made a Tobey Maguire figure. Like, he actually like looked like he must have 3D printed this, painted it, and he made a few of them.
Huh.
He went to Target. He even put like a Target exclusive thing on it. He made a rendered box too that looked legit. Everything. He brought like 2 or 3 of them there, and he put them kind of on the shelf, and he took a photo, and I think he edited like the thing above it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, a lot of people actually thought these were legit. I did too, I'll admit. Jeez. So people can do that stuff, man. Like, and then like, it wasn't only until someone reached to Hasbro and said, are people supposed to be, are these legit? Like, I don't think these are supposed to, because if these are real, you just, it's spoiled. Toby's going to be in the movie, and Hasbro came out and said, no, those are not legit. We have not made those. So the best we could do is take Hasbro's word.
Right.
But now people are like, again, kind of like, these Jakks figures real? I'm like, well, think about this. I think it was like a month or 2 ago now, we saw leaks on Walmart. Someone like posted them on Twitter that I guess got removed, or they were just leaked. I don't know even how they got leaked, but it literally showed I think it even showed some plushies. Like, apparently we're supposed to be getting like an Edgar plush, or from what it is being said. But I'm not going to base off that. I'd more base on the figures, because the figures are for sure official now with what we've seen. All 4 of the figures that were leaked were literally Sammy, Real World Bendy, Twisted Alice, and Piper. So far, 3 of those figures are basically now confirmed.
Right.
So that makes me believe that I got kind of mixed up in my video. I had to like kind of get back on track. It's definitely going to probably be a repaint of the Bendy figure we talked about, but just in like the what do you call it? Like the end of the game where he was like in the real world, so he's gonna be like black and white, have like a bluer suit, red bow tie, which I don't mind. I actually think that'll look really cool. I hope they fix the dot issue. I mean, it will make the cartoon world Bendy look kind of weird, but I don't think it'll be that much of an issue. I'm like, as long as they do it on that figure, I can forgive them for this accidental mistake.
Right.
But that's what I think it'll be. It'll basically just be a repaint of that first wave Bendy, just in like the real world and kind of getting color scheme, which will be kind of neat actually. Like having like, it's kind of, they're almost going like a Fat Mojo kind of idea, doing like the black and white figures and going black and yellow, like black and yellow figures, and then you'll just have this Bendy that's like multicolored, and you're like, what the? At least it's not going to be like, I've just said, as long as Jakks doesn't do this like BS with like black light or glow in the dark, I'm like, please don't do it.
Don't.
It's like Fat Mojo. I saw someone comment on my video. They were like, I want to see Jakks do like Granny and like Hello Neighbor, and like, my Hello Neighbor is limited. So I'm like, no one cares about Hello Neighbor anymore. I really don't. I'm pretty sure the last people I saw do figures for that were Funko and McFarlane, and then I'm just like, Hello Neighbor just died. I'm like they had to beg Matt Pat for a theory video. I'm like, I don't think anybody really cares. Like, I've only said I play Hello Neighbor on my phone just for fun, like in Act 1, because it's fun to just goof around. Like, I always like trapping it, but that's it. So they went on this like list. They were like Granny, Hello Neighbor, what else? They like went on this whole list. I'm shocked they didn't throw Poppy Playtime. That was the one they didn't throw in there, which I was surprised. And I replied simply going, at that point, Fat Mojo might as well just go bankrupt. I'm like, bro, the toy company that's known for just grabbing any like kid IP like indie games, just like, Jakks is like, we'll take them all. I'm like, there goes Fat Mojo.
Why don't you just throw Five Nights at Freddy's in that category too?
Honestly, I think they could. Honestly, I think Jakks could make some pretty good friggin' Five Nights at Freddy's figures. I'm like Jazzwares. I've heard a lot of people aren't excited.
I,
I'm surprised about it too, because I was like, Jazzwares seems like they could probably make better figures than Funko did.
I'm not super excited for Jazzwares, and I know a lot of people I talk to are like, oh, well, they might look a lot better. Jazzwares cannot make a Fortnite figure look like a McFarlane figure.
I was gonna say, don't they make the Fortnite figures?
McFarlane had the Fortnite license for a while, but then I think Hasbro took over, and then Jazzwares had it before Hasbro.
Oh yeah, they did. McFarlane did have Fortnite. I'll admit, the Fortnite ones from McFarlane looked good. Those ones look actually really nice.
I don't know what
So
happened to Hasbro, but
Hasbro, I'm like Hasbro. I'm shocked even Hasbro got the little squeaky hands on Fortnite at one point. I remember like the Jazz. I've seen some of the Jazzwares ones. The packaging almost looks like Marvel Legends style packaging, and I'm kind of like, for Fortnite, really?
right.
Fortnite of all things? I'm like, you're crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'm hoping to see a lot more Bendy figures come from Jakks though, because I think Jakks is doing a pretty good job as of now with the figures.
Yeah, I'm like, right, like as I've said, I'm like, right now, Wave 1, I'd say was a success. People are buying them. People are reviewing. I'm sure there's not a lot of people reviewing them. I've signed, like, Puppet Steve got his review out, and I'm like, you're not even relevant anymore. Like, I remember when you would get Bendy figures and, like, post them right away. Took you, like, what, months?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, stop acting relevant.
Hey, before he reviewed the video, or before he reviewed the figures, just remember that he showed off that bootleg book before he talked about his figures.
Yeah, he does. I know in every video. I'm like, dude, I'm still questioning if that's illegal or not.
I don't
I'm like, are
think
you
it
promoting
is.
something illegal? Because I'm like, pretty sure making money off another person's brand is illegal.
Yeah.
You're just happily promoting it. Like, yeah, kids. Like,
Unless Funko gave him the like right away just to do it, I'm like, okay, whatever.
yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I saw oh my gosh, his name never rings a bell. Turtle mascot guy. He like did a
Mr.
review on the
Springs.
book. Yeah, Mr. Springs. Yeah, I feel bad for like slandering his name like that turtle guy, but he's a cool YouTuber. But he reviewed the books and just I loved his video. He was just like the whole video was him just like reading it and just mostly like making fun of him.
Oh.
He's like, dude, does this like middle-aged man know his FNAF lore? He's like just making crap up, man. I'm like, he kind of is. When you're like reading the pages, he's like, because Mr. Springs knows his stuff. He's like the one with, I'm pretty sure he's the one with that like checkered board styled wall FNAF room, which I thought was nuts. I'm like, bro. I'm like, and this guy probably still like lives with his parents and stuff too, which like, I can't imagine his parents going like, yeah, here's that one room, going on. I'm like, bro, it looks like they had to renovate that room completely. I'm like, bro, it looks cool.
Right.
I'm like, that's insane. This guy's probably got one of the most wild, like, bro, this guy puts Daco in a corner, which is kind of surprising when it comes to like Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm waiting for like FNAF 2. They're gonna start inviting like Mr. Springs to that. Yeah, so Mr. Springs ended up in like the red carpet premiere of FNAF 2.
Right.
And it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that Scott noticed he's like a mega fan and has like a Five Nights at Freddy's room that looks kind of sick. No, like dude, the last room I saw like that on YouTube that I was like gushing over as a kid was like the guy with the big Goosebumps room, because I'm a big Goosebumps sucker. So then just seeing that, and like I'm sure if I was watching Mr. Springs in like high school, I would have been like down bad over that room. Like, oh, I wish that was my room.
Right.
But nowadays, I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's definitely not my room. I would not want that, but that's cool.
I'll just let you guys know that me and CartoonFoxGuy don't really like Puppet Steve anymore.
I like watch his videos just half the time to make fun of him for still thinking he's relevant. Because I'm like, dude, you're not relevant anymore. I think a lot of people kind of look at you like a joke.
Right.
I know that sounds so mean coming from a guy with like 600 subscribers. So you're like, oh, shut up. You're not one to talk. But I'm like, listen, at least I'm not a puppet Minecraft character in 2024, kind of trying to seem like I'm relevant, and also making books off like yeah, guys, I'm gonna like make a CartoonFoxGuy book about just the Five Nights at, or the Bendy Jakks figure. Me and GoldBear are gonna like collab, make a book, and sell it on Amazon for like $50,
Right.
and then like promote it happily on our channels. Like at least our books would probably know what we're talking about, but you know, just happily illegally promoting books that
Or
I'm guaranteeing you are illegal.
or this guy buying 50 Minecraft Lego figurines and just putting the little line textures on the face to make it look like the puppet and selling them.
That's what I noticed too. Yeah, I did think about it. I was like, wait, aren't those just the Lego minifigures just with probably painted on lines down there?
Pretty
I'm
much.
I'm like, are you serious?
I don't want to bad talk him too much because I did watch him as a kid, but
I
mean,
did too. I did too, but then you get older and you just kind of realize some of the videos you watch, like, how did I enjoy this?
He kind of just turned into a meme.
He kind of did. He got turned into like one of those things you enjoyed as a kid, and then when you get older, you're like, and then you see the kids nowadays, and it's just them memeing him. Like that's all I see are people just making fun of puppets too. Like, dude, like every time you post a new video, you're like, yeah, guys, look, I got the new Bendy Jakks figure. You know, like 2 months after, like everyone else's. But like Squirrel Stampede posted his review before you did. Are you serious? I'm like, dude, Squirrel Stampede was usually like after you. You were the one who was like, hey man, look, I just leaked all the brand new Bendy plushies. You have me to thank for that. And now here I am reviewing them to you. And Squirrel Stampede was just like, here's my review like a week later. Puppet Steve is out here like months later going, hey guys, look, I finally got the Bendy Jakks toys. Yeah. And I'm like, he's got like the most clicks. I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, you know, you got people like me, Clayton, other YouTubers who, even though they're smaller, are like giving you these reviews way quicker. You have us more to thank.
Right.
You're the reason we have looked at these toys, and I'm looking at you kids in the UK. Stop coming to my comments. I can't save you. I brought that up. I have kids coming in my comments continuously from the UK. Stop it. Stop it. I can't help you. I'm sorry. Listen, I feel bad for you. I truly do, but I can't save you. Stop commenting about you not having the Bendy Jakks figures. At this point, have a job and buy him on eBay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't save you guys. I can't really buy you guys the figures either.
Look at Clayton like a hero. Take Clayton's. Go do what Clayton did. Do it. Just go bid 100, 200 on the gaming figure. Yeah. I don't care. It's just whatever stops you from coming in my comments, please. And if you're in Clayton's, stop it.
Yeah.
We don't know what to do.
Yeah, we don't know what to do for you. So, but it's going about like we said that this video was gonna be like 30 minutes at max. It's already an hour long.
Yeah. So yeah, for. You'll probably not see this till I don't want to know. Whenever Clayton finishes editing this.
This video is gonna come out. This video is gonna come out like next month probably because I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to edit an hour video in one day.
Oh yeah, man. He's gonna be like working. He's gonna be cranking this.
I think I might be mentally drained after I'm done too.
Yeah, I'm like because of me. I'm gonna like you're not gonna see GoldBear content for like a month. I'm sorry.
It's fine, but yeah, we're probably gonna wrap it up here. But yeah, guys, that was me and should I call you by your real name or?
Go for it. I've had my name, but I mean, like, people follow me on Instagram. They know it.
Right. So that's me. Me and Wreaths talk about the Bendy and the Dark Revival / Ink Machine Jakks Pacific action figures and plushies and Wave 2 coverage. We hope you all liked the video. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe for more. Subscribe to CartoonFoxGuy too, because, you know, I very appreciate him coming on here today and doing this video with me. So, yeah, anything you gotta say?
Yeah, thank you again for having me on, man. This was a really fun time to talk about all these figures, geek out, and talk about stuff we love. And these Jakks Bendy figures and plush, man, I see it, Jakks just needs to hold on to this license. They need to like fight in World War II for it. Like if Jazzwares ever just comes out and goes, hey, listen, we want the Bendy brand, they better get their armed utilities out or like whatever you call it. They better like fight for World War III style for these like license. I'm like, you will not take this from us, Jazzwares.
And,
But yeah,
yeah.
but definitely subscribe to the GoldBear channel as always. And do you mind if I do it?
Yeah, go ahead, man. It's all
I'm gonna
yours.
do it. I'm gonna do it. This feels wrong, but don't forget to stay golden, everyone.
Stay golden, everybody. I'll see you all in the next video.
Alrighty, bye bye, guys.